Hey everyone, happy 2016. I'm here today with my first video in 2016 and my first video in front of my new background. I am so unbelievably excited to be filming in a different spot, although I'm sitting in exactly the same spot. The camera's just moved and my background is put up against my wardrobe. So I am so very excited to be doing something new. Please, please, please let me know what you think of the background. Whether positive or negative, I will not be offended. I just really want to know what you guys think because I did this for you guys. I bought the material from Spotlight if you were curious, but yeah, I would really love to know what you guys think of this background. I'm really proud of it, but I mean if you guys don't like it then I can change. But anyway, just wanted to address that really quickly because I know you guys will be like, what? Where are you? Please do let me know, is this enough frame? Can you see enough of me? Is it fine? What do you think? Anyway, that aside, this video is going to be all about my drugstore favourites for 2015. Last year, I'm pretty sure I just did one favourites video, but everybody's been doing them separately and I was like, nah, I'm just going to do them together. And then I started to think about what I loved and then I was like, I love a lot of things. I've had a really good year in makeup. So I want to show you my low-end and expensive drugstore favourites and then I want to show you the more expensive products. So just for those of you who don't want to spend stupid amounts of money on makeup, you can still see what I like that's more inexpensive. So I've got this entire little bag full of my favourites. Once it's up, I will have my high-end favourites linked off down below. If it's not up yet, make sure that you subscribe and stay tuned because it will be up within the next few days. I found classifying these products really hard because in New Zealand a lot of brands aren't available and most things in New Zealand are really expensive. So stuff like Anastasia and Jeffree Star I've classed as high-end, whereas stuff like Eye of Horus and The Balm I've classified as drugstore. So those ones I'm not too sure where to place them, but I've placed them as such. So yeah, hopefully you guys understand it's really hard because you can't buy those anywhere in store in New Zealand and they're kind of like $30 to $40, $50, which in New Zealand is almost drugstore, but I tried to split them according to the American pricing. So if that doesn't make sense, I'm sorry, but that's just how I've split them. So if you're wondering why I'm not showing anything Anastasia in this video, that's because I'm not classifying it as drugstore. I couldn't think of a primer that I really loved from the drugstore. I mean, I have used quite a few, but none of them I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, I need to use it for the rest of my life kind of material, you know what I mean? So instead I picked two foundations that I've really been loving, and they're both from Maybelline, and they're both the Fit Me's. I have them both in the shade 110. I do find that this one matches me more in the winter, this is the Matte and Poreless, and the Dewy and Smooth matches me in the summer, which is really weird. But anyway, these are definitely drugstore, retailing at between like $8 and $12 in America, I do believe, and in New Zealand they're about $25. So I absolutely love these. I have used this one for years, and since this one came out this year, I have been using it to pieces. They're really nice quality. And this one gives more of like a satin matte finish, whereas this one gives a really dewy finish. So depending on my mood, I can definitely get the best of both worlds with these two foundations. As far as concealers go, I have two favourites. One of them is for under eyes, the other is for blemishes. My favourite under eye concealer of the year for drugstore is the LA Girl Pro Conceal. The reason why I like this is because it's high coverage, really easily blendable, and it is very creamy. You also get a lot of product in here for like barely any price. That didn't even make sense. For a really cheap price. So I really love this. The brush tip applicator isn't my favourite, but it's not my least favourite either. I really don't like the sponges, so the brush is better than a sponge at least, but I really love this. For my favourite blemish concealer, this one is really new to me, but this is my favourite blemish concealer that I've ever gotten from the drugstore. It's the Tony Moly Cover Pot Concealer, and it's basically just a little bottle of high pigment concealer. Now this one is in the shade 01. It's ever so slightly too light for me right now, so I would also like to get it in a darker shade, but you can pick this up from Beauty Net Korea, and it's basically just a really good like eye base or something to cover up your eyebrows, to cover up pimples. If you guys had like hyperpigmentation or something like that, this would totally be a great product to have, so I really love this. For my favourite face powder, it was kind of a no-brainer. This is a product that I couldn't really use that much earlier in the year because it was such a dark shade, but since they've brought out new shades, the Australis Fresh and Flawless Pressed Powder has been an absolute favourite of mine. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's very comparable to the MAC Studio Fix powder. I've used that for pretty much probably about half of this year I used that powder and I really loved it, but since they brought this out in a lighter shade, I have retired my MAC one and I'm using my Australis one instead because I'm all about inexpensive makeup. This is available on the Australis Cosmetics website, and if you live in Australia and New Zealand, I'm sure you guys know where to buy it. I don't know if they ship worldwide, but it's definitely worth checking out because this retails at like 20 something New Zealand dollars. I don't know how much it would be if you wanted to buy it from America, but It's definitely still worth looking into, and this shade is a light beige. This is my winter shade. I don't have a drugstore bronzer that I've been loving this year because drugstore bronzers don't usually work for me because I am so fair. I'm really picky with the bronzers that I use, so I don't really have a drugstore favourite that I can think of. Actually, I lie. Oh my god, I just thought of one. So the product that I just had a brainwave of and thought of is the Maybelline Master Highlight Highlighting Bronzer. This is totally not a bronzer, but it's marketed as such, so I'm going to include it as a bronzer. This is in the shade Light Bronze. It's like a bunch of different coloured bricks. You've got like browns, beiges and pinks, and you swirl them all together and you get a really nice highlighty, bronzy kind of look. I would wear this as a blush, or I can kind of focus more on the highlight shades and wear it as a highlight. I absolutely love this, and this has definitely been one of my favourite drugstore products of the year. So the next thing is my favourite blush, and I have a lot of drugstore blushes, but this one is the one that I've probably reached for the most. This is the Max Factor X Cream Puff Blush in the shade 50 Lovely Pink. It's basically a lovely pink shade, as the name would suggest. But for real, it's just like a kind of like baby-ish, but not too baby pink, with like a gold veining through it. These are so pretty, so pigmented, and they're really nice and shimmery, I guess. As you can see, I don't even know if you can see it there, but it's kind of like light but not too light. I really love it, and it's great on my fair skin tone, and this formula is to die for, so I've absolutely been loving this. My favourite drugstore highlight of the year should be a no-brainer for you guys, and it was a no-brainer for me. It is the Balm Mary Luminizer. I'm showing you guys the trio because this is such a better deal. If you want to pick this up, you can get it from makeup.co.nz, but basically it is a this one is a 3-pan highlight, but the star of the show is of course Mary Lou. It's a white golden sort of highlight. I'm wearing it today. You guys can see my cheeks are super duper highlighted. I just freaking love this. This is great for fair skin. I've seen people up into like a deep skin tone wear this and it looks great on them. It's just such a really it's not like shimmery, it's just really glowy. Like, it is obviously a shimmer powder, but it's not like, I've tried like ones from NARS and stuff that are literally just like straight chunks of shimmer, whereas this is really finely milled and you wouldn't think this was a drugstore product. Moving on to the eyebrows, I'm sure you guys can guess at least one of the products I'm about to mention. The first is my favourite sort of brow shaping, brow filling in product, and it is the Eye of Horus Nile Brow Define. My actual favourite shade is called Husk. Right now I have Nile, which is like a very dark brown, but Husk is really good, and so is the other shade that I can't remember. There's two that are lighter than this, and those two are way better than the dark one. The dark one's a little bit too dark, so I haven't been using it. If you guys are wondering why I haven't been using it, that'd be why. But these are so comparable to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Whizzes. It's like the same thing, really thin pencil, got a really nice spoolie on the end. If you guys can't find or can't afford the ones from Anastasia, I definitely recommend these. And my favourite brow set from the drugstore should be no surprise to you guys. It is the L'Oreal Brow Define. I definitely prefer this one because it has a smaller brush. It is much easier to use, and yeah, the pigmentation and the colour on this is perfect. I wear the shade. I wear this in the darkest brown shade, I think. If there's like multiple browns, it'll be the medium, but if there's not, then it'll be the darkest. Does that even make sense? But I really love this. I haven't used this in a while because I've been using my Anastasia one, but this was my favourite for like 90% of the year. I have a favourite eyeshadow, and then I also have a favourite eyeshadow palette. My favourite eyeshadow of the year, hands down, is the Australis Metallics eyeshadows. I've had these for a while. This one is new this year, but I've had other ones in the past. This is in the shade Guns and Rose Petals, and I use this all the freaking time. It's basically like a cream eyeshadow that's crazy pigmented. It's very similar to the Stila Magnificent Metals, but these are like, I think they're literally like $13 New Zealand or $15. $15 New Zealand. They're so inexpensive. I flippin' love them, and this shade is just the bomb.com to wear in the inner corner. It would look really good with my eye look today, but I'm not actually wearing it for once. My favourite eyeshadow palette from the drugstore was again a no-brainer. I don't really have any other drugstore eyeshadow palettes. I feel like New Zealand doesn't really get that many eyeshadow palettes, especially because we're behind with the times. We don't have many new releases. So it would have to be the Maybelline The Nudes palette. This is a very controversial palette. A lot of people don't like it because they think it's not pigmented, but to me I think it's just the right amount of pigmentation. Like, if you want to, you can really pack them on, but if you're just in a rush, you can literally just slap them on and it's foolproof because they're not stupid pigmented. And obviously you have a really good mix of shades, both shimmery, and matte, light and dark, and I just think it's a perfect palette, a great size, and I really like the packaging. So this is definitely my palette of the year. For my eyeliner of the year, I have 3 different shades just to show you guys the range. I also have a blue one, but I've obviously never used it. I love the Eye of Horus Goddess pencils. I also really like Rimmel's ones, but I wanted to mention these because these are new to me this year. I think last year I mentioned, well, in 2014 I think I mentioned my Rimmel pencil, but these have been so great. I have one in bronze, then I have the nude and the white one. I love these two. I wear one of these almost every single day. Of course not today. You know, what are the chances that I'd be wearing something that I'm talking about today? But I really, really love these. They're definitely my favourite pencils, and you obviously get a lot of product in there. Yeah, I'm in love with these. Moving on to mascara, I do just want to give an honourable mention to the Eye of Horus Goddess mascara, which is an absolutely amazing mascara, but for my favourite this year I would have to give it to the Max Factor X Masterpiece Glamour Extensions mascara. This one is the absolute shiz. It is such a beautiful mascara for separating, lengthening, volumizing. It does everything. I really, really love it. If I didn't already have a billion mascaras, I would definitely repurchase this one. I might repurchase it at some point in the future. It just won't be anytime soon because I literally have like 8 open, and I'm probably going to get conjunctivitis because I have too many to use. I'm nearly done. I'm moving on to lips. My favourite lip product of the year in terms of lip balm. You guys should know this, and I probably did this in 2014 as well. It is Hurraw. It is the absolute shiz. I have so many different Hurraws all around my house. I have like a night one, I have a mint one, I have a day one, I have this one, which is not my favourite, but it's the one that I have at hand. It's a Kappa one, which is like ginger and eucalyptus and stuff, but these are raw, vegan. I don't know if I think they're organic as well, maybe, possibly. I'm pretty sure they're organic. They're just like really good for you, really good for the environment, and I don't know, for some reason I really like the shape of these. I feel like they're like really easy to apply and they're really smooth and blah 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 blah. They're great. Go and buy them. You can get them from iHerb. For my favourite lip liners of the year, I'm going to have to go with Colourpop. I really should be mentioning more Colourpop in this video because Colourpop was pretty much my brand of the year. I used it like non-stop. But coming down to it, looking at everything that I've bought, these are probably my favourites from Colourpop. I love their lip liners. They are freaking amazing. I have 3 shades here. These are the 3 that I use the most. As you can see, they're all nude. I have Skimpy, Brink and Bound. I probably use Bound and Skimpy the most, but Brink is also an honourable mention. They're really creamy. They're very, very inexpensive. They're $5 US. Even though you can't buy them in store, they are still cheaper than any other lip liner that I've tried and liked. I also do like the Essence ones, but I'd have to give these ones the cake. They're just really nice, and the colour selection is awesome. Now I have 2 different liquid lipsticks. I don't actually have a favourite drugstore lipstick to show you guys, just like a plain one. I've only really been using liquid lipsticks. I can't think of any plain lipsticks that I've really been dying over this year. As you guys know, this past year has been the year of liquid lipsticks. Like, every single brand has brought it out. Like, even Maybelline and like Revlon are getting on the bandwagon now. Like, everybody's obsessed with them. I have 2 different ones. I have like one of the mattifying ones, and then I have a more creamy one that I like. The mattifying one that I like is of course the Colourpop Ultra Matte Lip. These ones are so comparable to the ones from Lime Crime, but you don't have to worry about all the controversy and the horrible person who owns the company because Colourpop are lovely. This is probably one of my favourite shades. It's called Sunday. I also really love the shade Clueless. I like Beeper. Bumble is really nice, Solo is really nice, Mini's really nice. I just basically love all the shades that I've tried. This is one of the first shades that I bought though, and I freaking love it. It's like a purpley pink with a shimmer through it. I was going to wear it today, but then my eye makeup ran really dark, so I couldn't. But definitely my favourite more drying formulated liquid lip. This next product, I don't really know if you consider it drugstore, but it is Gerard Cosmetics, and I'm choosing this one because I think these are more inexpensive than the Jeffree Star ones, and these are easily accessible in New Zealand. But I have this one in the shade Serenity, which is the one that Manny MUA made. This is such a beautiful formula. I have been wearing this heaps since I got it. I only got this near to the end of the year, like in the second half, but it's such a beautiful lipstick. I think this is the only thing that I've swatched in this whole video. Why was I doing more swatches? Anyway, I really, really love this. I think it is stunning and it wears so well. It wears a really long time, wears really evenly. The colour is beautiful. I just have nothing bad to say about it. I also have some other shades, but this one would definitely have to be my fave. So that is it for my drugstore favourites for this year. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I just wanted to show you guys the things that I liked that were more inexpensive first, because I know a lot of you guys, well, at least for me when I was younger, I could not afford high-end makeup, and to be honest I can't afford it now. I just buy it and then just deal with not having food to eat for like a week. Do not recommend. But yeah, I will have my high-end one coming soon, and if you do want to see any other sort of new year related videos like favorites from last year, like the random ones, if you want to see like a New Year's resolutions video, like anything like that, let me know, because as you guys know I'm still on holiday. I've got a few more weeks left, so I have a lot of time to film. But yeah, thank you so much for an amazing year. 2015 was a great year. I wish you all the best for the upcoming year, and yeah, thanks again for watching. I love you guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hey everyone, today's video is going to be a collective haul. I am calling this my Merry Christmas to Me haul because I literally just bought all of these things for myself. Some of them were Christmas presents for myself, and other ones were like, oh well done Olivia, you finished writing your reports, let's spend $150 on makeup.